I just want to know more about obviously investing in stocks because I've been doing other things like investing via the insurance companies, but I haven't really I haven't done my part in investing directly in the
Mm.
stock market, and so I just want to ask more about it. I guess this is for the people who haven't done it yet. Yes, this video is for you because like I said, I've been investing through the insurance companies, which is good. I mean, I know they invest in stocks and whatnot, bonds, but I want to know what you think is the advantage of their investing directly in the stock market versus the insurance companies. I mean, what are
Mm.
the pros and cons? And
Okay.
that's so nice. How did you get into stock market investing anyway in the first place, and at what age? Now I'm really excited. I mean, 8 years after, I really want to try it. I mean, since this lockdown has really, it's really teaching us a lot of things. I mean, it's teaching us to appreciate family and to just continue with what we're doing, with what we're passionate about. It's also teaching us to discover new things. And I think one of the new things will be, investing directly in the stock market now for me. So I'm excited about that.
That's
Yeah.
why the rich get richer kasi sobrang real estate investor na tas magsa-stocks pa, so talagang the stream
Sobra
of
talaga.
income just it would just increase as well. Hey guys, so we're up again for another Q&A session. In this video, we have Champagne Morales in the vlog. She's gonna ask me a couple of questions, and let's see where it goes now. How I answer them also, and I hope it adds value to you as well. So, hello, Champagne. How are you? How's everything there?
Hi. I'm good. I'm happy to be doing this with you. I'm happy to learn more from you, of course, because I know that you've been contributing so much to so many lives, just teaching them to be financially savvy. So I'm excited and happy to do this with you.
Okay, so since it's your first time also in the vlog, can you tell people more about yourself so that they have context on probably the questions that you will ask as well? Then we can go with the questions now.
Okay. Basically, what do I say about myself? I'm a singer, I'm a host, I'm a songwriter, but at the same time, I also do other things. I'm a mom now, but aside from that, I've been a real estate broker for so many years. 7 years maybe as a real estate broker, but in the real estate, or maybe 10 years, but in the real estate industry, maybe more than 10 years. I don't want to sound that old, but seriously speaking, yes, I was working with Landco Pacific Corporation, and I was basically marketing seaside properties in the Batangas area for a while, but now I'm a freelance real estate broker. I'm also in the travel industry, so I help market for certain cruise lines. They call it America, Costa Cruises, Disney Cruises, and more. But at the same time, I'm also helping with the marketing of a resort in Lipa, Batangas called Divine Grace. But that's just basically, it's called Divine Grace Leisure Park. It's for team buildings, it's for for team buildings, for seminars, for weddings, and more. So that's what I've been doing. I'm really blessed to have learned so much from the things that I've gotten myself into, and just continuing to learn.
In short, sobrang yaman niya. Sa dami ng ginagawa, sobrang yaman.
Ano ba? Hindi talaga.
Okay,
I'm learning a lot talaga. Marami akong natututunan. And, at first I was really scared to step out of my comfort zone and just all of a sudden be in the travel industry and start marketing this resort. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was God really leading me. And I'm glad na marami akong natutunan. Yes. And I'm continuing to learn.
Okay. Do you want me to ask you questions na lang? Mukhang you're leading on to some questions na. Or Okay, go.
Sige, maybe I'll start with asking you a
Okay,
question
go.
first.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting because I just want to know more about obviously investing in stocks because I've been doing other things like investing via the insurance companies, but I haven't really, I haven't done my part in investing directly in the
Mm.
stock market. And so I just want to ask more about it. I guess this is for the people who haven't done it yet. Yes, this video is for you. Because like I said, I've been investing through the insurance companies, which is good. I mean, I know they invest in stocks and whatnot, bonds, but I want to know what you think is the advantage of their investing directly in the stock market versus the insurance companies. I mean, what are
Mm.
the pros and cons, and
Okay. Okay. First answer to that is this. When you buy stocks, the fees, the transactions you pay for every time you buy. So that's the commissions of the broker around 0.025%, something like that. So you can hold that stock for 30 years and then pay nothing forever already. The only time you pay something is when you would sell. But the overall transaction, no, I think buying, selling, uh, brokers fees, PSE fees, and then all of the taxes, it's only around 1.44% end to end na yun. After buying something, selling something, that's where you pay the 1.44% in everything. So that means you buy something now, then you forget about it for 20, 30 years. You don't have to pay anything, and then you don't get charged anything anymore. That's just it. The only time deductions will be made also is when if you buy a stock that gives you dividends, the dividends, kinakaltasan yun ng taxes. So, that's why yung people are asking this also. Earnings from the stock market are final tax already kasi it's already withdrawn, it's already withheld. Uh, as you can check your accountant with this, but they'll say that you don't need to put it in the ITR anymore because it's already final tax. So that's the only kaltas that will ever happen also every time you buy stocks na. So number one is when you buy and sell. Number two are the taxes every time dividends are given. So that's one. So dun pa lang you'll see there are there's underlying cost differences already compared to buying insurance. Insurance naman, uh, when you place money every month, there's fund management fees that gets deducted there. So ganun din. Good market when everything's good. Bad market when like what are happening seeing now it's crashing. The fund management fees will be deducted off of it. So you pay for the insurance part, which is upfront every time you place money and you start the policy. Then after that, in between also while everything is happening, you have fund management fees that deducted. And there's fees also for insurance after the first placement of the product. Then that's the first one, fees. Second is uh you have to pick the stocks on your own na. That's another difference. You have to decide what you want to buy. And if you go for the
yeah.
insurance policy, they have funds where may specific team done. Like there's one fund that follows the entire Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Then there's another fund that only buys consumer stocks. Then there's another fund that buys the larger companies. Then there's another fund that buys dividends. So the insurance that you buy follows a specific theme of the fund. So may set of stocks na sila na binibili. You don't have control over what stocks are bought. You don't have
Mhm.
control of how many stocks are bought and also the allocation. Meaning, if they buy 10 or 20 stocks, what you don't control there is, do I put 10% or do I put 5% per each stock, or one stock gets more, one stock gets less? For you picking your own stocks, the advantage there is this. For example, you know a lot in the real estate industry, kaya sobrang yaman mo. So, since you know a lot in the real estate industry, there are certain companies there na, alam ko, I see their projects are doing very, very well, and I see a lot of the brokers that are selling, they're always would sell out. So you know which companies are doing well. Hence, you have
Oh,
information that this might be a good stock to buy. So
right, right, right.
there are some advantages if you pick stocks that you that's in your line or core of expertise also.
Oh, I see. I
Ano,
understand now.
I'll
Yeah.
give you another example. Another advantage is you buy, for example, like what's happening right now. If you buy the fund, you buy the insurance, it's distributed in whatever stocks that they're buying. So like what's happening right now on lockdown, the whole economy is at a halt. So if you buy a fund that that's distributed to the whole economy, damay ka din. But if you're picking stocks, you can think strategically. Who's doing well at this time? Pure gold, because everyone's going to
Mm,
groceries. All of the malls are closed down. Pure gold. It's
that's
not just
right.
making money; they're selling like crazy. Nauubos lahat ng mga items nila. So uh,
Yeah.
you can specialize, you can nitpick, and you can just buy the ones that you think based on your analysis that uh, is doing well. And that's also the difference. If you don't want to study, better get the fund. If you want to take the time also to, like now lockdown, take the time to study, then stocks will also do very very well. And I've been saying this in different videos now. This call is brought to you by a broadband plan. And everyone's at home right now using their broadband plan or LTE. That means Globe,
Yeah.
PLDT are making a lot of money from all of it.
Wow, that's right. Oh
So
my
ganun,
gosh.
you can look at it that way. So if I'll try to differentiate it, if you go insurance, you can't pick what to buy. But if you don't
Right,
want to
right.
study, that's your advantage. If you go to stocks, you can pick, but you also have to take the time to study. If you want lesser costs, the stock market will give you lesser costs. If you want to have insurance but pay a higher cost also for your investments, then you might be okay also doing VUL. Uh,
That's
siguro top
interesting.
of top of mind, those are some of my answers.
Mm-mm. No, that's very interesting. Yeah. So you personally, do you just go, you're more into like directly in the Philippine stock market, or sometimes do you dabble into some insurance products also, or not of as of late?
Hmm. One of my first investments were also insurance products. They were one of my first, like I said, they were the first. They're easier to get into because as what
Yeah,
we talked about earlier, hindi siya kailangan pag-aralan.
for
So,
sure. Yeah.
not, I mean, kailangan pa rin siya pag-aralan but not as intensive as going directly to the stock market. So, one of my first investments 13, 14 years ago were that also. And
Nice.
some of them I still maintained up until now. I haven't really been
Wow.
anymore over the past decade, but the first ones that I got, I still keep and I still maintain also as of now. So when people ask me, do I have it? I have. I have. The name of the game kasi is you buy as much or you invest in as much investments as you can, so that later on you get to see saan ka magaling, you get to see where your capabilities are. Kasi for example,
True.
it doesn't make sense to me. A lot of people are saying ayoko mag stock market because it's too hard to understand, and I always ask them, have you tried it?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
normally the people who would say that really haven't invested yet. And the only
Correct.
way for you to know if it works or it doesn't work is if you try it, you allocate attention into it. So when people ask me, what's a good entry level investment? I say start both, because money is not a barrier. Both investments, you don't need a large amount of money to start it. So start both, and then you assess everything on year number 4. Pag hindi kumikita yung stocks mo, they put more into mutual funds. Pag mas kumikita yung stocks mo than mutual funds, then put more in stock, so that the way you answer your question is based on your track record. That's how it's supposed to be. Kasi what
Yeah,
works for me won't work for you. What works for someone else won't work for both of us also. So it has to be
absolutely.
based on how your analysis is, how you do it. So ganun dapat siya ginagawa. And eto pa, last is this. Uh, these are all investments eh. The
Yeah,
main
yeah.
goal of investments is to fight for you when you can no longer work. So I'd
That's
rather
right.
have the potential to lose money on an investment, especially when I was starting out, to lose money on an investment than to use my money to buy something that I don't need. Kasi 10 years after, yung bagay na that I bought that I don't need won't have any value anymore eh. But that investment that I put in, if it does well, will make money for me. If it doesn't do well, for sure, on year number 2, year number 3, or year number 4, madami na ako natutunan from that mistake that I could have used and pivoted to do better in another investment.
Galing. That's awesome. So what do you do, like, what do
Ayoko
you call this?
natutunan lahat yan eh. Grabe ka naman.
Ano, ano?
Ayoko natutunan lahat yan. Sobrang yaman mo eh. Okay, go. What's your question?
Whatever. No, what about the monthly, the monthly, I mean, would you rather do like a one time, di ba some people do like a one time, big time thing? I mean, not man super big time, but just like a bulk amount. And then others, they do monthly. I suppose you like doing monthly, right? Contributions or, It's not really. I don't think people really do a lot of bulk placements now, or they still do.
Okay. The answer also to that, it depends. If you have the money right now, for example, if you're a person who has ₱1 million right now, then studies have shown also if it's done properly and you buy it very, very low, then it would be prudent to put that in one go, or you segment it. Pero the studies have shown that it's more effective. That you
If you do it on several segments, yeah.
no, if you have the money and then you find, for example, right now the market is very, very low. So you use this particular time, this particular era to deploy that ₱1 million because everything's
Right.
cheap. But going back to your question, not everyone has ₱1 million also. But
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people who have salaries that from that salary, there's a portion that they can allot to invest. So if you're a person that has the million already, has the extra, and then there's a very, very good opportunity, then you can use that opportunity to invest. However, if you don't have it yet, but you have ₱10,000 extra, ₱20,000 extra per month, that's what you can put to invest until you get the million. So the rule of thumb is if you have the million, you have more options. Pwede mo siyang i-one go, pwede mo siyang hati-hatian. But if you don't
Right.
have that million, wala ka
Of
talaga
course,
choice.
from the
You really have to,
salary. Yeah,
yeah, you really
yeah,
have to tranche it
right.
per month or whenever money comes your way as well. And I wanted to say something, pe. It's also if you have a larger amount of money, madami advantages yun. It's not just stocks you can buy. If there's an opportunity, for example, ngayon, may kaibigan ka kasi sarado lahat ng establishments, they won't be able to pay for their loan for their food cart or whatever business that they have. Since they don't have money for it, they'll say, oh, i-offer na lang nila sa'yo, buy this food cart from me at a cheaper price. So if you have the money, you can buy out businesses that are cheaper as well. So ganong
Right.
ganong advantage.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'm learning so much. What about like, are you more for short term or long term investments, for example? I mean, my guess is you like long term, right?
Uh when I
Not
invest,
really, because
it's
you need to
always
sell also. When you find that it's like you also need to let go because you're kind of you're having some doubts, then you kind of have to sell now. So how do you make a balance of like what's long term and what's short term?
Hmm. The answer to that is this. Number one, whenever I invest, it's always an amount of money. I've said this in so many videos that if I invest it, my goal is I don't plan to touch it for a very, very long time. That's one. Pero it doesn't mean I won't sell it. Okay, I'll qualify it first. Number two is at the back of my head, every time I invest it, if it goes to zero, I'm still okay also. Kasi
Wow.
it always has, that's why number three, it always has to be excess money. That's why people
Correct.
are scared because they put money that shouldn't be there in the first place that they're actually investing. So
I
for
see.
me, from the start, it was always excess money. So ganun lang. Then back to your question, I do both short term and long term. I separate it. I have money for short term, I have money for long term. So like
Mhm.
what's happening right now, the market is down. Some of the long term funds that if you're very, very long term, the name of the game is you knowing when it's cheap. So some of the long term funds, I see a lot of stocks that are cheap. I use the long term fund to buy stocks that are cheap also. Ganun lang. Then for short term, pwede rin if there's buying opportunities, I buy. Then when it goes up a bit, I sell also. So it's about how you distribute your money. Parang sa ginagawa nyo sa real estate, you have a certain style if you want to flip, you have a certain style if you want to rent. So madaming mga real estate investors ganun din. They're into real estate, pero they have a certain money allotted for flipping. They have certain amount of money set also for buying land and building something, then later on
That's
to
right.
sell it also. Then they also have certain amounts of money where they buy a condo, then they rent that out. So it's how you segment your money for your strategy. So what people are
Right.
doing in real estate, that's what I'm doing in stocks also.
That's very interesting. Oh my goodness. So now that there's a lockdown, yeah, I was just thinking about that earlier before this interview started. So I mean, what is the strategy now for those who wanna try to invest? It's like after the lockdown, then they can consider investing because nothing's happening now, no, at the moment.
No, no, no.
Or
Unbeknownst to many, the market is open. So,
Ah,
so it was only closed for 2 days. Nung 2 days siya na close, bored na bored ako noon. But after that, that was more than a week ago. The market's open. So I'm not sure though if you have an account, well and good, you can trade, you can invest, you can buy
if not,
whatever you
yeah,
want.
after na,
But if you
right?
don't have an account yet and then you plan to open, because all of the companies now are on skeletal force, I'm not sure if they have people who can process your account to open. So that's something lang that I do not know. But for those who
Yeah,
have
that's very
accounts,
interesting.
nothing has changed in the markets, and I think the stock market should remain open, because if it's not
Yeah,
open, people invest in stocks for the liquidity, meaning kung kailangan mo yung pera, pwede mo tanggalin. Kung sarado yung
oh,
market, then
wala
it
sila.
defeats the purpose of
Yeah,
going to the market.
absolutely. Ah, okay. So that's interesting. So now you've been actively selling and buying now during this time also?
It depends, no? I don't buy and sell just for the sake of buying. The reason why I said naka-separate yung portfolios is that may parang rules yan. Parang real estate din. May rules that I will only buy when these conditions are met. So, if those conditions are met for one particular style, then I start to buy. If
Hmm.
they're not met, one of the things I need to exercise is patience, that I don't do anything until that gets hit. For example, sa inyo sa real estate, gusto ko lang 200 square meter. So wala kang gagawin until makita mo yung 200 square meter na gusto mo. Or gusto ko not more than 10 million pesos. So wala ka rin gagawin until you find 9.9 million peso na property. So it depends on your rules. Or sabi mo, gusto ko lang sa south, I'll never go outside the Alabang area. So ganon. So if those are some rules that people in real estate would do, I have the same rules, but it's more niche for the stock market naman. But I will never buy just for the sake of buying because everything is down. I will buy because my rules that I've predefined have been hit. So it's really based on what your strategy is and how you follow that strategy.
That's so nice. How did you get into stock market investing anyway in the first place, and at what age?
Uh, I'm 24 now, no? So, started, joke lang.
Wow,
Guys,
batang bata.
guys, pinagtawanan ako, guys. Comment below. It hurts. How old am I? I'm 36 now. I started early 20s. So,
Wow, nice.
ano
That's
lang,
awesome.
similar to what we talked about at the beginning of this video, I started investing in mutual funds first. Then, as I started investing in mutual funds, I've said this also in previous videos that there's an arbitrage in mutual funds. The arbitrage is the the price of mutual funds the next day is based on the price today of the stock of the market. So I would always watch it every day because I would see that, teka, kung down ngayon, mura yung mutual funds bukas kasi down siya ngayon eh. So I was
Oh,
watching it every day. So sabi ko, if I'm watching it every day, then might as well uh, just try the stock market na rin. So yun. Then
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I used to watch also the rate also via the website of the insurance companies. So that's what you're saying. You were making it bantay and you realized you want to go straight na rin into the stock market. That's interesting.
that's where
So it's very convenient naman, no? If you invest in the stock market directly, everything is very convenient, payments wise and all. It's easy, online banking and all that.
yeah, everything's online. Everything is super online. There's even apps right now that that will allow you to buy and sell. It's just like nag-ano ka,
That's so fun.
nagti-TikTok ka, but you're using your phone normally. Or
That's so fun. I
literally it's
really
just
should try it. I should try na talaga after the
yeah.
lockdown.
Guys, lalaglag ko si Champagne. She attended 2012 Stock Smart sessions 8 years ago. So that means wala akong na-contribute sa buhay mo.
Grabe, now is the time. I have to na talaga. I really have to. I think this is a sign. And yun lang, that's the thing. I mean, we're on lockdown now. So that's very interesting. I mean, I'll definitely study everything. Yeah, that's my question. For the first time stock market investors, what's your advice? So I suppose they just study what companies are doing good now during this whole coronavirus thing that we're going through and then just like consider that, right?
uh, my answer to that is this. Number one, you said it rightly that use this lockdown to study, because similar to everything that's happening, no, like ikaw, you sing. singing is a skill. Ganun din sa stocks eh. It's easy to get into, but if you want to somehow do well at it, it's something that you need to build the skill. So number one, you have to learn, then put a small amount of money so that you have the experience, so that your skill will also increase.
Ah,
Then yun, you take it from there. No one naman is an expert overnight eh. But what's very, very important is you start, and then you build the skill and experience from there. Kasi kahit ako naman when I started, lahat ng I I'm not I'm I think I'm better now than where I was a decade ago. But when I started also, wala rin, di naman ganito pa yung alam ko eh, but I started. So that's what I
galing.
suggest. Learn as much as you can, then after you execute. Kasi a lot of people try to watch YouTube videos, a lot of people try to read books, but if they don't do anything about it, then na-entertain lang sila. And this YouTube channel, for me, the reason why I put videos out daily is not really to entertain people. Tsaka tanggap ko naman di ako ganun kagwapo, kaya hindi rin entertaining. Pero,
Grabe.
the goal is, after watching, I hope it helps them execute kasi yun yung
That's awesome.
pinaka-importante.
That's really awesome. I mean, just talking to you now is making me itch to do it right away. Malamang, after 8 years, I should be itching to do it already. But seriously, I think what you're doing is amazing. I mean, I was just watching a few of your videos before we started this whole thing, and I mean, keep up the good work. I think this is awesome what you're doing, really. And I have to start na para naman I have my own stories to share about directly investing in the stock market apart from just investing via the insurance companies and whatnot. So like, I mean, it's very exciting. Yeah. So that's one more thing. I mean, how do you actually learn by experiencing things firsthand, like studying what it does to your money? Also, like watching videos, reading. I mean, how do you study and become skilled at stock market investing?
I think it's just like, of course, you have to take the time to study, regardless of how you consume it. It's to a friend teaching you. It could be through videos. It could be through a training. It could be through books. So, number one, you have to know what type of person are you. How do you consume information? Then, after consuming that information, you have to really dive in and do it. It's just like, for example, nung bata ako, familiar ka sa Milo Best?
Yes, yun ba yung parang sports competitions
Oh,
and stuff?
hindi siya competition siya, parang summer
Training.
training siya. Yun. I took that, and then madami rin akong kasama doon. And what I saw as the differentiating factor for people who would excel after that is, after the training, when they get home, they practice what they learned. And then they do it repeatedly. Ganun din sa stocks. Watch a video, read a book, go to a seminar as a person that's good at it. But after that, whatever you get, you have to learn it. You have to try it. Then after trying it, you have to do it repeatedly. Because again, it's a skill. It's experience. So you won't be a super good singer like you kung hindi ka nag-practice eh. No, it's months, years of building the craft, building the skill to be able to do it also. So, yun. For those who don't know anything about it, it may sound parang it's a bit vague, but once they start learning and they start practicing and doing, that's where there will be more questions that will come out. Pero as more questions come out, at least you already know what questions to ask, and you already know what specific things you want to study as well. Yun.
Now I'm really excited. I mean, 8 years after, I really want to try it. I mean, since this lockdown has really, it's really teaching us a lot of things. I mean, it's teaching us to appreciate family and to just continue with what we're doing, with what we're passionate about. It's also teaching us to discover new things. And I think one of the new things will be, investing directly in the stock market now for me. So I'm excited about that.
That's
Yeah.
why the rich get richer, kasi sobrang real estate investor na, tas magsa-stocks pa, so talagang the stream
Sobra
of
talaga.
income just it would just increase as well.
That's crazy. But I mean, seriously, I think this is going to be a very exciting time for me. I mean, I really want to learn. I mean, it's just like what you're saying. It's like now I'm practicing to play the guitar, And now I just want to practice also with the stock market. And like you said,
Mm.
I mean, that's one of my questions also. Like, how do people handle their fears about investing in the stock market? You know, and I think you answered it earlier really well. I mean, you just put extra funds. You know, it's diba? I mean, if you do that, at least you're not so you know, it's not going to be so scary for you because it's just extra funds, you know,
Mm.
and then you can experiment and study. I
Mm.
mean, but what is your experience like in the beginning? Did you have to pull out right away? No, not really, right? Because it's just extra fun, so you just
Oh,
leave it there for a while and you
I
study
don't,
after a year
I
what
don't pull out.
happened.
Yeah. So the goal is sa stocks is you actually keep on putting more because
Right.
let me give you an example. 100,000 versus 10 million. If you have 100,000, that 100,000 earns 10%. How much do you get?
10,000.
1,000. If you have 10 million, that 10 million earns 10%. So, I'm looking at you. Hala, mat to patay. Okay, 10
1
million.
million.
10% of 10 million is 1 million. So if you look at it, the same effort on buying stocks, but the larger the capital, same percentage of return, you earn more. So it's baliktad nga yung mentality ng Filipino eh. The mentality of Filipinos are, I'll put money, pag kumita, tanggalin ko na yung capital ko. Dapat baliktad. You make money, you put in more because you want your base to become bigger. So
That's awesome.
something like that. It has to come to pero magagawa mo lang din yun if you really know what you're getting into. Kasi if you don't know what you're getting into, matatakot ka magdagdag eh, matatakot ka maglagay eh. That's why it's very, very important that you learn, but your experience and your skill is proportional to your money. Having a lot of money but no experience and no skill, mawawala rin yung pera eh. So it has to be, your money should be growing in proportional to your skill and your experience.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing all that info. I'm really excited now. So like when you say studying pala, that means studying like, you know, what risks to take and also studying what companies are interesting to invest in. That's very important, right?
Mm.
Obviously.
But yeah, you need to know first, am I gonna be in it because I want to invest, or am I gonna be in it because I want to trade? Or I want to be in it because parang real estate, I want to be in it because I want to sell later on when it's at a higher price, or I want to get in it because I want to get rental income. So those are the things you need to design first. You always need to begin with the end in mind. You need to start with what your goal is first before you actually buy. And a lot of people lose money because they just buy without having a goal, without doing the strategy first. So you create your strategy.
Oh.
As you create your strategy, that's when you start buying. That's why learning is so important, because yung mga things na ganun gets answered first, that you're not just buying. Pero
Uh-oh.
not to discount experience and trying, kasi ganun din naman eh. Parang swimming. There's someone na nag-scientific swimming, there's someone na binato mo sa swimming pool, natuto siya lumangoy. Both will work naman. It will allow you to go to the other end. So you can do it ano lang, by swimming on your own, or you can also do it na scientific. Both will work. As long as what people, I think that there's more people studying than people trying. So it's more important actually
Ah.
to try above and beyond just studying also. So there, they must know first what's their intention, how do they want to earn, are they in it to trade or to invest. I think those are the most basic questions uh, that they have to answer. And lastly is this one pala. They
Yeah.
need to also answer, what stock am I buying? Why am I buying it? Why they are buying a stock should not be based on someone else's opinion. They must have a firm idea on why they want to buy that stock. Na kunyari, I'll dissuade you, Champagne, to buy this. Pero ikaw, deep inside, based on your analysis, you think it's gonna do well. For example, uh, for example, uh, Zoom, the platform that you're using now, is a stock. So I know it's gonna do well because everyone's on lockdown, everyone's gonna use it, they're gonna earn more because of it also. So whatever you tell me to say na hindi pangit yan, they're not ano, but because of my analysis, I'm gonna stick to it. And the best way for you to make money is to ignore the crowd, to not follow the noise, and just follow your own strategy. And that's where money's made.
Just follow your own analysis. Yeah, that's very interesting. Oh, okay. That's super cool. So what about like the challenges, like for example, the losses? How do you handle that? If
Uh,
there are,
it's part of it eh. That's why it always has to be excess money. Money that if you lose,
you're
tanggap
not gonna cry or whatever. It's not gonna be so
mo.
heartbreaking. Yeah, that's
So
true.
it always has to be like that. But here's for me, this is the biggest advantage of the stock market versus starting your own business. If you start your own business, you put in whatever amount, pwede mag-zero yun. Sa
Oo
stock
nga.
market, never mag-zero. Pwede siyang bababa, pwedeng maging emotional because it will dip, pero it will never reach unless magsara yung company na invest mo. That's why it's very, very important to study what you're buying also. So, ganun. But it will never go to zero.
Right.
So,
That's very interesting. Now I'm super excited.
so ganun. So, for me, I'll just double down on that. That when people say the stock market is risky, teka muna, mas risky pa mag-start ka ng milk tea business pero you don't know anything about milk tea. Mas
That's
risky pa
true.
na
Oh,
your competitors will beat you because they have better brands in the milk tea space. Whereas, why not just buy the mall kung saan nagre-rent yung milk tea na yon? And then you
that's
earn pa.
right. Galing.
So, something like that.
Yeah, that's good. At least with the stock market, it's not like sasakit pa ulo mo with the operations and handling people, so that's very interesting. Yeah. Thanks for sharing this info. Sana ano na I have my success stories na in a year or two in
Oo naman. And that's
in stock market investing para next time we talk talagang marami na akong masasabi about stock market investing
and
aside from the insurance companies.
and what's interesting is, guys, that's what we're gonna talk about in the next video, the Champagne Morales success story.
Ano ba? Oh my gosh. Well, sana talaga I can impart something. I mean, I think
Mm.
I've learned a lot from the years I've lived. I sound like a lola. Pero
Mm.
I mean, yeah, but I still have so much to learn from a mentor like you. But yeah, I'm excited to share whatever I've learned in the past
Okay.
year.
Do you have any questions pa? Do you have anything pa?
Actually, what are my other questions? What are my other questions? Sige, ang dami kong tanong na ano lang, and it's just like mumbled jumbled up in my brain right now. But okay, what was a really exciting time in your life as an investor? Tell us more about that. Like a success story, like in terms of like kunyari, a certain year that you can't forget because it was so awesome, and what
Ah,
did you do to achieve that?
ah, the 2008 recession.
Talaga?
No,
We really
because
invested during the recession. Or,
everything is down eh. So, ito
oo.
pa gusto ko sabihin, people always say it's a once in a lifetime moment. No, it's not. Why? Because even if you came in 2009, 2010, you would still have gotten a piece of that action, a piece of that move also. So, the index, I'll just use the index na lang para people have a better reference, no? Especially if the people who follow you are into mutual funds. Before the 2008 crash, the index was 3,700. Okay? When the market crashed, it hit 1,800. Then, fast forward 2009 to 2013, from 1,800, it went to 7,400. So, even if you came in late 2009, early 2010, you would still have gotten a piece of the action also. So when people always say that it's a once in a lifetime thing, totoo, there will be spectacular opportunities where sobrang it doesn't happen all the time. But even if you don't get in at that exact moment, you, there will always be an opportunity for you to make money. And ganun din. What happened in 2008 is happening also right now. And what's so interesting is, yung drop natin ngayon is much, 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 much bigger pa and faster than what happened in 2008. Yung 2008, it wasn't as fast as now eh. The drop that we're seeing right now is massively faster and massively stronger also. That's why a lot of people were a bit scared because it was so fast. They were actually thinking that this might drag on for a longer period of time pa. So yun, and that being said also, bumagsak na siya, wala pang cure ng corona, hindi pa tapos yung lockdown, people are still fearful. So that's why also at times where there's a lot of fear, at times when a lot of people are scared, sometimes that's one of the best times to find opportunities for you to invest also. So ngayon lang nakakatakot, pero 5 years from now, 7 years from now, a lot of people will look back at this time to say na sayang, sana nag-invest ako, sana nag-start ako.
So I mean, so yeah, I was thinking that nga. I mean, like now would be an interesting time, but you're right. I mean, like the question would be, is now an interesting time to invest, or like in a year from now? It could be any of those, right? It depends on what happens, right?
Yeah, it depends on your strategy. That it goes back to what I said earlier. Follow your strategy, follow your plan. If your plan's telling you to come to buy right now based on this set of parameters, you already buy. So if your parameters or your techniques telling you not to buy yet, so you don't do anything, you avoid it. You do not have to buy unless your technique tells you you're supposed to buy also. So ganun lang. But historically speaking, one of the things that people have been scared of kasi was 5 years ago the market was so expensive, the market was so high. Ngayon naman we're so cheap already. It's just that it's at a point in time where there's a lot of fear. And if it's so cheap pero there's a lot of fear, uh wala nag-iinvest sa ganun. Pero that's one of the best opportunities. I'll give you an example. For example, may isang condo, 10 million pesos. May isang nagbebenta because nagmamadali na siya, kailangan na niya benta. Benta niya sa'yo na 6 million. Pero ikaw, because you don't also know what will happen, you don't know what will happen to your cash, you're hesitating a bit kasi baka yung 6 million na to, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen to the economy. It might be better off in cash as well. But if you look at it logically, that's already a large discount from what it was supposed to be. So,
Right, right,
ganun din sa stock
absolutely.
market. Ganun din sa stock market.
Oo nga. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. That's very, very interesting. I'm so glad I was, it's so interesting because we've been wanting to talk with one another like the past months. And it's nice that now we actually did it. Finally, I actually finally had the guts to do this. And it's nice. I think it's a God thing maybe because now it's like I'm more open now into investing, and I hope other people will be also. Yeah, because I mean, life shouldn't stop. You should be just, thinking of the future. I mean, I know we're just going through a lot of challenges now, but like what you said, there's an opportunity in this. And like what you said, if it's just excess money anyway, maybe sometime now or whenever the people are comfortable, then they can invest if they're willing to, diba? I mean, but for me, I think I'll try it.
Go for it.
I'll try it already. Pero sana naman, kaya lang I have to wait for the lockdown to end kasi obviously I can't open an account yet. But yeah, I mean, I just want to thank you for this chance to, for you to share your insights with me and with everybody watching because it's very important to be financially savvy. I mean, obviously we have families to feed, we have our futures to take care of. So I think what you're doing is so inspiring. Actually, no, really, I've always been so inspired with people like you and people who are even just helping people with insurance products and everything because they guide people into investing properly and really blessing and making a difference in the lives of so many people. So with that, thank you, Marvin.
So, thank you so much
Thank you.
for your questions. Now, so to those watching also, I hope you got a lot from Champagne's questions. Kasi for the next video, babawi naman ako, super. But I hope that for those who are watching also that had questions about insurance or stocks, I hope this is something that added value to you as well. Because that's the goal of this. The goal of this is to educate you as possible. I don't know if you know this. The name of this series is I've been making videos since the lockdown. I call it Lockdown Learning. We have over 50 plus videos already that got created just from the lockdown, and you're part of this. So,
Wow, awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you for making me a part of this. And it's nice to be a part of something like this that keeps us sane, that continues the learning for you and me and for everybody watching, everybody at home. So thank you for making me a part of this.
so yeah, to all of you guys who are watching, I hope you guys got a lot from this. Put your questions below also, and we'll try to make videos off of that. And if you enjoyed Champagne to be part of this vlog, just comment, I want Champagne. So we'll see if we can have her for more videos.
I want champagne.
So,
But yes, thank you so much talaga, Marvin. I really enjoyed this time with you and I'm excited to do the other thing later on. Yes.
okay, so that's it for now. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.